The next morning, we meet in the catacombs, aware that it's probably the only location in town at this point where Harry cannot have us watched. Yay, conspiracy group. There's a growing, awkward silence between us, August frowning down at their feet with sudden, intense concentration. I almost laughed at the sight of this mismatched group huddled in Finn's quarters, and Finn's eyes are firmly fixed upon Piper, who unabashedly pokes and prods his belongings. She picks up what I assume to be a very real human skull, staring deep into its vacant eye sockets, then smirking smugly at our undead companion.
This what you use to practice your flirting every night?
Finn grins, shrugging with a cocky kind of nonchalance.
I don't need to practice.
Piper scoffs, placing it back upon the shelf. So? August groans loudly. Right. Can we please get on with this? I can already feel my skin cursing me for spending so much time down in this damn pit. Then they all pointedly look at me, and I realize that the floor is mine. Right, yes. Omen and Alkar are patrolling the woods, making sure that we know where the best spot to confront Harry will be. Everyone raises his hand, and August rolls their eyes at his politeness. Aw, cute. How are we going to get him to come find you? And how do you know he'll have Aya with him? Piper's gaze drops to the floor at the mention of her friend's name. We don't know, it's more of a hopeful optimism. I need to be the one to stop Aya. Everyone looks at Piper.
She was my friend, and I might not be able to save her, but I can make sure it's as quick as possible.
Oh. August wraps an arm around her shoulder and pulls her close, the embrace quick but meaningful. We understand, whatever you need.
And what of us? What do you need us to do?
Before I can respond, August steps forward.
Have our backs if necessary. Other than that, just stay hidden. The last thing we need is to rile him up further by flaunting our alliance with the very creatures he longs to eliminate.
Finn and Ezra exchange a look, and I can feel apprehension rolling off them in waves, but they still nod to their agreement. I use myself as bait, essentially. I'm sure he still thinks that he can convince me to change my mind. You did seem hopeful when he left my office. He'll pay for what he's done.
Then all we need to do is wait, and hope that he comes.
Finn scoffs, crossing his arms over his broad chest.
He'll come. If I've learned anything about Harry in the years I've known him, it's that he never backs down when he has his sights set on something.
August sighs, worrying their bottom lip between their teeth.
Yes, Finnegan is right. And he doesn't give a damn about the cost of his actions anymore either, clearly.
The thought has my skin prickling with heat, my hair standing on end. He truly will stop at nothing. James Death proved that to all of us. Then he'll come, and we will end this. Once and for all. It's dusk in Lunaris. My feet are sore, my eyes tired, and all I can think about is how much I can't wait for all of this to be over. In school, they trained us to kill monsters, and the irony of my current predicament does not escape me. Despite countless hours of training and study, nothing could ever have prepared me to fight my greatest enemy yet, the Lieutenant General of Ezra. Harry is the true culprit, and it's still hard to grasp that he's the one responsible for the gruesome murders that brought me here. As I sink further into the town, the feeling of dread that has been a constant in the pit of my stomach since I arrived strangely seems to dissipate. I wander with purpose through the narrow streets, hyper-focused on this task at hand. I'm ready to ensure that this place that I've come to call my home is once again safe, and in the hands of those that truly care for it. The only thing that distracts me from such thoughts is the way the sky begins to turn from purple to an inky, infinite black. I turn a corner and I'm met with a familiar sight of people moving to get inside as darkness overtakes the town. The sound of doors slamming and locking echoes off the crooked stonework. Curtains are drawn, windows closed, and then darkness. Although the stars are shining brightly at a glance and the crescent moon hangs low, neither offer much light. I think back to the first night I arrived and how much my life has changed since then. A lump forms in my throat as I realize that I've been gifted what I haven't known since childhood. A home, a family to call my own. So many things have been taken from me, from all of us. I straighten my shoulders, taking a deep breath. No more. Then I think about Finn, the man who has fought to become good, despite living through lifetimes surrounded by evil. It's one of the things I hold most dear about him, and I realize how desperately I love him now that he is an essential to me as air is to my lungs. I cannot bear the thoughts of anyone, anything taking him from me, or I from him. I try not to let the thought of him distract me too much from the straight line of my thoughts, something he's far too good at doing. Determination leaks through my bones, and I pick up my pace, boots heavy and loud against the cobblestones. The instincts that have been ingrained in me since my initiation into the order kick in, and I know that I will win this fight. After all, I haven't lost one yet. I can feel eyes upon me, watching, waiting. Though they are kind eyes, the watchful gaze of my friends and allies tucked safely away in the thick forest. No matter how much I insisted I'd be fine alone, the stubborn bastards wouldn't take no for an answer. I stand and wait. I think back to my brief time with James, and all I can hope is that I make him proud tonight. Then footsteps, a rhythmic crunch, crunch, crunch. And there he stands, bathed in darkness, his sharp gauntlet resting proudly atop the pommel of his sword. He smiles.
I knew you would change your mind.
I stand firm, my fingers hovering over my own weapon. I haven't changed my mind, Harry. I'm here to end this. His booming laugh echoes around the clearing, and he steps forward, a stride slow and purposeful.
And what? In my attempt to fix the imbalance in our world? To stop me saving humanity? I thought you better than that, Hunter.
I clench my jaw, willing myself to remain calm, to let him have his moment of glory with the hope that he might reveal weakness.
You trained all those years just to defy the very cause that you pledged your life to. How noble.
Then he stills, pressing his palm to his chest.
I swear that no night will be traversed in fear, that morning will be a promise and not a hope. I swear I shall lay down my life in the cause of my duty to protect the vulnerable from the creatures of this realm and any beyond it.
But at what cost?
Until my final breath, I pledge myself to you, body, mind, and soul.
The pledge, the oath that we take before consuming the poison they fed us. The words sound so empty to me now that I know what's become of this order. And yet, you never took that oath, did you, Harry? You couldn't possibly fathom the weight that those words carry. He drops his hand back to his weapon, and he laughs again.
You're right. I am no hunter. I was never worthy, but I have loved a hunter, and I have seen the things they must endure.
I almost want to scoff at him, to laugh in the face of his supposed understanding. He may have loved a hunter, but he killed him too. He surveys me for a second, eyes narrowed, and then he inclines his head. Do you intend to what? Kill me? Commit murder?
Killing me would be against your precious code, wouldn't it? Or are you going to get your vampire to do it for you? Might not be such a smart move. I killed his sire, after all. Levi was far stronger than your beloved.
I freeze at the mention of Finn, fingers tied around my weapon, my knuckles bleeding white. Harry notices, and he's pleased with himself. He pouts at me, feigning innocence when he sees the sour look I can't help but to offer him. We did just fine killing your failure. Pointedly, he chooses to ignore that, instead reaching into his coat and producing a vial. It feels eerily familiar, and the sight of a dark, vicious liquid encased in delicate glass makes me feel sick. He holds it high, gazing at it with unabashed fondness, shamelessly proud of his nefarious creation. Is he trying to transform himself?
To think you would willingly deny such an honor. I'd give anything to be able to take it.
The moonlight hit the glass, the liquid more black than the red I remember, and my stomach churns. It would kill you. He sighs.
It would, wouldn't it?
For a brief moment, I think he might really swallow it down, but instead he tucks it safely back inside his coat, patting the fabric tenderly. Since you won't see reason, let's just get this over with, shall we? Final chance. Join me. I don't need to hesitate in my response. Never. Calmly, he smiles, flexing his gauntlet. A wounded noise rings out around us, something broken and terrible enough to make me want to cover my ears.
A shame. You would have been magnificent.
Yeah, what a shame. The sound his sword makes as he draws it from the sheath is cutting, and the impressive weapon glows to life, emanating a bright golden light. Mental reminder to ask August if they knew about that little surprise. He's fast, faster than I expected. Now I finally get to see the infamous prowess of Harry Addington III up close. I parry his heavy blows with relative ease, trained to anticipate every moving things far more cunning than him might make. I wonder if he's underestimating me like all enforcers do of their hunters. Then, out of the corner of my eyes, I see her. Branches twist and snap against the weight of her misshapen frame as she pushes through the brush, the more wide and vicious, teeth snapping as she struggles forward. Harry could catch me off guard, could see my momentary distraction at the perfect opportunity to strike me down, but he stops, staring me down with wide eyes.
Isn't she beautiful?
What the heck? I feel drawn to her, an almost undeniable connection, but something is distinctly wrong. I can feel the lingering threads of humanity, of the hunter within her, and though it sings to me like a prayer, it leaves me feeling sick. There's something about seeing it, about seeing her, that makes my blood turn cold in my veins. I try to remain unaffected. Confusion and anger twist in my gut. She's a monster. Harry narrows his eyes at me, fingers tied around the hilt of his sword. Technically, yes, but she's so much more than that.
She evolved far beyond the other subjects, and she's outlived them too. Though I assume Azazel would have lived as long had you not killed him.
Yeah, you really sound like a man who wants just the best for the world and the people. With that, he lunges forward, and we begin our dance once again. I'm fighting a man I do not want to kill, no matter the crimes he's committed, for I am not the monster he wants me to be. I need to subdue him, and fast, because on my peripheral I can see Aya lurking, and I know that Harry doesn't have any semblance of control over her. She could turn on either of us at any moment. Then, when Aya does set her crimson eyes upon Harry and me, I see daggers glint in the moonlight. Piper? Piper's daggers. She tears from the forest with a battle cry, heading straight for the misshapen creature. She meets each of her lazy attacks with unbidden power, and I try not to let myself become distracted by them, knowing Piper can handle it. Aya isn't one of us. Not anymore. The hunter and human within her long dead. All that remains is a husk, all thanks to the man who stands so boldly before me.
So, you did bring your friends. I knew you wouldn't face me alone.
I scoff, wiping sweat from my brow with the back of my hand. I see now that you long for us to fight alone because you want to be disposable and forgettable. You called me here to turn me into a monster, but I made Lunaris my home. That must really piss you off. With clenched teeth and a growl, Harry carefully crafted composure with this and dies as he hurls forward. He lunges, the tips of his blade pointed toward my chest. I shift to parry his attack. Within that second, however, his body pivots and I see the aim in his misdirection. Quick thinking on his part, but I must be quicker. Sharp steel hums at the clash of my weapon against his own, and I can feel the oppressive weight of his desperation trying to blow me down. As soon as I force him back, he strikes at me again. His attacks seem to be without a pattern, like random, unguided flurry, but in those eyes, I see a man with deadly calculation. Each blow given means to take a tendon, a weak point, a place not always vital, but just enough to keep me from fighting back. Harry believes us all to be lesser, and therein lies his hubris, his weakness. I can see his confidence soar with every blow that barely finds its intended spot, and he seeks to overwhelm me. I continue to enjoy letting him think he can. I cast Piper a glance when I can. The cacophony of battle all around us numbed my ears, but I can still hear her, see her, and feel the thrum of angry adrenaline coursing through her. It's not unlike my own, and like her, I trust my instincts to guide me. Purposefully, I let my stride waver, become almost haggard, fearful even. I adopt a stance that tries to let the predator think he's weakening his prey, and Harry catches the bait like a moth to a flame. He smirks, another blow. Just a small comment. Why don't the mages help us? Like, I don't know, enchant us, give us magic armor, or, I don't know, do a ranged attack on Harry. Why are they not helping us?
Come now, Hunter. You made for such a good show before, don't falter now.
He's quite bloody. Is that all you think?
I thought you better than this. How disappointing.
I force him back again, and though I make him believe he has the upper hand, Harry is a force to be reckoned with. He mimicked the same attempt he made at the beginning, sword to chest, but this time with intent. He doesn't change his direction, but there's a renewed force behind it. The blow rattles my bones when the attack connects with my weapon, and his sword reverberates with magic enchanted into its steel, Harry using the pressure to force me down. His concentration, all pitted against my weapon-wielding side, allows me an opening. Though Harry may be strong, he doesn't account for me being able to hold him back with one arm. My free hand reaches for my concealed dagger, the one given to us by the Academy during initiation, and I seek to implant it in his side. To my surprise, he releases one hand from the hilt of his sword, stopping the dagger before it can meet a vulnerable point between his ribs. He grimaces in pain when the dagger's edge slides against his palm, deep crimson slick on silver, and yet he still grips it with fervor. His body trembles, but he grins at me despite it all. Close. Stars flicker behind my eyes when Harry headbutts me, a sickening crack, and I stumble away from him, struggling to regain my footing in the dizzying haze. I barely have time to register his next attack, and the downward swing of his sword knocks my weapon from my hand. He connects a quick kick to my sternum, and I fall to the dirt. I see the man I'm supposed to call my leader giving himself a moment to relish his triumph. He observes the dagger that bloodied his hand and huffs a tired laugh.
It would have been ironic if I was the one to give this to you. I suppose this will have to do.
He discards it with a shrug and walks toward me. He truly means to kill me. With With renewed confidence, he swings his sword with a flourish, a fluid movement that shows his weapon is just another part of him. And now, it rushes for me. I breathe deep and try to regain lucidity, but it won't be enough. Just as his blade is about to meet me, it's repelled to a brilliant flash. That haze, the smell, and that aura fills my senses, and I know exactly who it is.
Augustus!
Strength in numbers. Harry strides backward as August stalks forward, cracks of magic snapping at him with palpable intensity. He forces back the attacks with the enchantment upon his blade, but it can't stop the overbearing force that shocks his body each time they use their powers on him. I watch August gracefully turn their pain into fury, magic licking across their skin as they weave spell after powerful spell to combat each of his would-be blows while I regain my footing. Their body shakes with lingering static as they finally relax, eyes aglow in the darkness. Harry spits blood, finally faltering to the onslaught, and his body gives way, falling to his knees. August then appears at my side, frantically scanning me for any injuries. I wave them off, adrenaline still coursing violently through my veins. I'm fine. You're sure? I nod, turning my attention to Harry. Ooh, nice artwork, especially the weapon is really cool. And he looks quite beaten, broken. He kneels in the dirt, his dusty black coat pooling around him, his right hand red with blood. His breathing is labored, but I know we didn't harm him enough for there to be any immediate threat to his life. The blood that covers him is mostly not his own, but Aya's. Ow. I glance over at the heap of blood and bones that once was our fellow hunter. Piper kneels beside her, Ezra holds her tightly as Finn watches in silent support. I see Omen and Alkar emerge from the forest, and in the tree line, a litany of glowing red eyes. The clan. The pain and suffering in this clearing alone are enough to make me furious, enough to warrant this man's death. And yet, he looks up at me with his piercing blue eyes.
Just do it!
August rests their hand upon my arm, but I didn't want to meet their gaze, afraid of what I might find. Ethan. I stare down at him, at my Lieutenant General, and I remember the taste of it. The vial cold in my palm, an encouraging smile from the enforcer who handed it to me, a child so eager to please and feel loved after being taken from their family. Magic and the blood of others, foreign things coursing through my body, seeping and sinking deep into my bones like an incurable infection. I said my vows, took my oath, and I became theirs. Been faithful to their cause, all of us have. And this is where it ends. This is where I break it. No matter how long I live, there's one side, one moment that I could never erase from my mind. Harry Addington on his knees, covered in blood, asking me, no, begging me to end it all.